In this video, we are going to learn about creating Toposurface in Revit using CAD Import Instance. Creating Toposurface in Revit is a two-step process. The first step is to check out the DWG file that came to us from the surveyor. Let us open the DWG file. Type out Z to zoom, then type out A to zoom all. Here, the drawing indicates units as imperial. This is shown in vertical interval as 1 feet. Here, the graphic scale also indicates the drawing scale as 1 inch equals 50 feet. To verify this, I'll use dist command to check the distance here to verify the units. This is 50 units. This could be 50 millimeters, meters, feet, or anything. AutoCAD has a system variable called LUnits that reports the unit settings within AutoCAD DWG file. I'll use this to check the drawing units. This reports the value as 2. This means the current units are decimal. I'll type out units to verify this. Let me now check out the contours. I'll need to verify if the value written in the contour label matches the contour properties. Here, the properties here show the selected contour is a 2D polyline. It's on a layer called points underscore icon and has an elevation equal to 60. As we see, this matches the value in the contour label. I'll now change the drawing units to imperial so that it matches the units indicated in the drawing. I'll use LUnits command again and change the value to 4. This sets the units to imperial units, that is feet and fractional inches. Let me check the distance again. This now shows the distance as 4 feet 2 inches. This is equal to 50 inches. I'll now save this file in my working folder. What I have done so far is checked out the layers on which contours are drawn. The contour lines are 2D polylines and they have an elevation value. The other thing that I have done is to change the drawing units to match the units indicated in the drawing. The drawing file now is ready to be imported in Revit. I have finally saved the file in my working folder. Let us now switch over to Revit. I'll start a new project. Now I'll use Import CAD tool to import CAD file, the file that I just saved. Select the file and make sure this checkbox that says current view only is unchecked. I'll leave all other settings as they are for now. Once the import is complete, the imported CAD file is visible. I'll zoom in to check out the distance to verify the scale of this imported CAD file. Just make sure the dimension style that is selected is imperial units and not metric. And we see here the distance measures as 4 feet 2 inches, which is the same that we saw in AutoCAD. We now need to scale the import CAD instance and change the scale value to 12. Right click and select the option Zoom to Fit. We'll check the distance again, which now it says as 50 feet, and this matches the distance indicated in the drawing. So the scaling has now been verified and is correct. We are now ready to use the imported CAD instance to create the Toposurface. As we have seen, the imported CAD instance is far away from the elevation tags. I'll move the CAD file to somewhere within the elevation tags and move the tags away from the drawing. But I'm unable to move this since the imported CAD is pinned. Pinning prevents moving the CAD instance by mistake. And not just CAD instance, but any object that is pinned. It prevents accidental movement of the pinned elements. Now to move the pinned object, we need to unpin and then move. Once you move the object to the place you want, make sure you pin it again. We now need to switch over to the site view in the project browser. We're now ready to create the Toposurface. We'll use the Toposurface tool here in the Massing and Site tab. We'll use the Create from Import Instance option. And to do this, I'll select the imported CAD instance. This opens up a dialog box that lists down all the layers within the CAD imported file. So what I'll do is I'll check none and only check the layers on which contours are drawn. We saw these layers in AutoCAD file when we were verifying the layers. And then hit OK. Here we see the points get generated along the contour lines. And each of these points has a value of elevation equal to the value that was present in the contour elevation that we saw in AutoCAD. Revit reads this value and creates the point with the elevation value equal to the value in the contour line. We've finished the surface. Now the surface is now generated. To see it more clearly, I'll hide the imported CAD instance. I'll change the graphic display to shaded. And the contours and the slopes are now clearly visible.